Okay, how are we doing today? Good. Can't complain. Fire away.
Thanks for getting Randy Gregory back and what he can bring to what was already a really deep group of pass rushers.
I think Randy will bring a lot to our pressure package. I mean, he's a good rusher, although he doesn't have a big number of sacks, but you can see him affect the quarterback, which is what we look for. He's got the skill set to drop. I mean, he can do a lot of different things that we're going to ask out of the position. So I think him adding into the rotation will be a plus for us.
Everybody looks for sack numbers, but I mean, is it more important to get the pressures?
I think it's you got to affect the quarterback from throwing. At the end of the day, sack numbers are always nice to get. Everybody wants to get the sacks, that's for sure. But if you're getting him off the spot and influencing him, to throw the ball poorly or messing with him as far as getting his feet set and those kind of things, I think that is also something that you got to get credit for and something that you got to look at as far as pass rushers in this league.
Speaking of pass rushers, Yaya Diaby, where have you seen kind of the growth from him now that you've had him for a year?
Yeah, I think he's grown a lot. I mean, last year coming in at this point in time, there's a lot of things we asked him to do through the course of the year that he had never done before. So I think going into year two, you can see he's already, just with what we've done so far this offseason, he's a lot more comfortable. It's not the first time he's done it. So we look for him to take the next step and look for big things for him coming through.
Examples of things that you asked him to do that he hadn't done before?
Like drop to the curl flat. He had never done that before. So.
Speaking of dropping coverage, you talk about Chris Braswell. He is a guy that had a pick six dropping in coverage last year.
Yeah, he's a young man, and when we looked at him on the tape, he displayed the skill set of everything we're going to ask him to do. So we had a clear vision for what we were getting with him coming in, and what we're asking him to do wasn't going to be foreign. So I think it'll be a big plus to get him in here next weekend and get him going. So we're excited about the opportunity of bringing him into the group.
Were you surprised he was there when you guys came up?
Yeah, I mean, that was about where I think we had him slated in the draft. But like I said, anytime you can add somebody that can rush, can drop, can set the edge on a run, can get on and off blocks and make plays, anytime you get a playmaker like that, that's going to be a good addition to you defensively.
And he's got several moves already under his arsenal.
Yeah, he has a good toolbox coming in. I think his experience at Alabama, especially with all the good rushers that have come out of there during his tenure there, especially, I think that's added to him and his growth as far as a player coming in.
He said he was clocked over, I think, 22 miles an hour on a 7-yard return.
Right. Yeah. No, he's got good speed. He's got good quickness. He's got good physical toughness. So we're excited to have him.
One of the guys that drops really well in coverage for you guys is Joe Tryon-Shoyinka.
No question.
Can you just speak to how he's grown in that game? And Todd was talking about him being a chess piece that can do so much for you guys, not just be an edge rusher.
Yeah, the one thing you look at in this league when you're talking about pass rushing is being able to dictate how teams set their protection. So Joe allows us to do that because not only can he go rush, he can also drop out in the coverage and handle it with ease. Probably as easy a dropper as we got as the outside linebacker position. He understands the concepts. He understands exit angles. He understands how to get there and vision the quarterback and break. So he's done a tremendous job as far as adding that. As you look last year at different packages that we get in and out of, I mean, he allows us to do a lot of those things with ease, which we're looking for, same way with Braswell coming in, because he's very similar as far as, his athleticism to be able to do those things. So really excited about Joe from that aspect of it. Look for him to have a good year, this coming year and just continue to get better.
What can you say about the overall depth at outside linebacker between the players the Bucs just added this offseason? Plus, he's still got some young guys like Ramirez and Watts that are waiting in the wings to try to make some more splash plays this year as well.
Yeah, competition gets the most out of all of us. So you're out there every day, you've got to come compete. And that's always a good thing. But you can never have enough good players, all right? Just so you know. But at the end of the day, no, it's a good group. I'm really excited about the opportunity to work with them this year and see everybody improve as we go through this process.
What did you like about Marquise Watts' game last year? He was actually your pressure leader in terms of percentages at 23%.
Yeah, Marquise has a unique skill set and an excellent bend and rushing a passer. He's come a long way as far as the coverage drops and understanding those kind of things. So really look for him to make another step this year too. He and Jose both. I mean, Jose was here with us throughout the year last year. So the work that he did on the scout team and transferring that, as we go into this all season should hopefully, fare well for all of us.
How about Anthony Nelson, he's entering a contract year. Is he just kind of a steady Eddie that's so reliable in his role because he's
I tell you, Anthony may be one of the smartest players that I've ever coached. I mean, he's on top of everything, just like a coach would be. He's like a coach on the field. He understands different concepts and different things that people are trying to do to it, and he's advanced it to what are the things that I can do to help affect the offense. And, whether it's disguising coverage, whether it's rushing, whether it's, stopping a run, he does all of those three things well, which we require at our position. So we're looking to get Anthony back and get him going this year.
I know Yaya was relatively raw from like just pass rush move standpoint.
Mhm.
Sometimes guys in college just rely on their athleticism and their strength.
Right.
But it's a little different when you get to the next level. Where is he at in terms of kind of developing that, developing just kind of, a rush plan, being able to counter what the opposition does to him?
I think as he grew through the course of the season, you saw his toolbox expand. Going into this offseason, we've challenged him with a few things to increase his tools to use in his rush. I mean, he was a guy that was so close to the tackle as a 5 technique and a 4 technique in college. And now you put him in space. He's real comfortable getting closer to people. So his hand-to-hand combat, just increasing the work production off of that. And just, being in space a little bit more to create more room for him to rush. So all of those things are on the docket, and you saw him improve as the course of the year went along. And I think it'll improve this offseason coming into this season. Hopefully start faster.
You talked about your edge guys dropping in coverage, typically to the flat, but the way Todd likes to deploy some of these guys, we've seen Diaby and JTS inside at linebacker.
Oh, yeah.
Either blitzing
Oh,
or,
yeah.
or dropping.
Oh, yeah, that's –
Speak to how his defensive creative mind works. And
yeah, I think Todd does a great job, number one, of understanding the skill sets of our players and getting them in a position that we can affect the quarterback or the protection and then get out into coverage or get into a blitz out of those things. Those things cause problems for people when they try to identify us and get the protection right every time. So the more versatility that we're able to have at the position to be able to use guys with their different skill sets there really will be a plus for us. I mean, not too many people are going to want to block an outside backer on a back. You know what I mean? So, you get into a chess match there. And Todd does a great job with all the variations that we have between our blitz packages and our disguising and coverage packages that allows us to have success.
When you looked at the offseason needs, everyone said, edge rusher was a big need for that premier number one guy who teams have to game plan, double-digit year in, year out sacks. Do you feel like you have someone like that on the roster, either with the Braswell selection or from holdovers?
I think when you lose a player with the experience of Shaq that's been here throughout the system, that's always hard to replace. I mean, only time is going to tell with those numbers as we go through the process. And every year is different. Every journey is different. So we're just excited with the guys that we have to go through this journey and see them go out and perform.
Do you expect JTS to step up as like a leader in that? Obviously, Anthony Nelson's the longest tenured guy, but JTS is right behind him.
Yeah, I think the guys in the room have a tremendous respect for Joe and what he brings to the table, what he brings to the meeting room, what he brings to practice every day, and understand his skill set and what it allows us to do within the defensive scheme that we're using. So I think that's a big plus for us at the end of the day.
when you look at Diaby and Cansey last year as rookies, they were almost like each other's shadow. I mean, like stuck together like glue. What does it say about the future of the Bucs defensive front to have those guys always talking football together, not just on the field, but in the locker room, the meeting room?
I think you got to give a big credit to our scouting department. Those guys do a great job of collecting the information on those guys before they come in here and understand what we've identified and what we're looking for as far as players. And when you look at it, the not only the football skill set, but also them as people off the field and what their interests are and if they're football junkies, all of those things become variables in the evaluation process. I think they've done a tremendous job of getting guys who are really locked in to what we want to get accomplished football-wise, and that's shown up on this roster throughout of it. So I think that's a big plus for us.
You got to face Kirk Cousins with Minnesota last year. You're going to see him now twice with Atlanta. What does he bring to that team?
Well, let's see. I was with Kirk in Minnesota for about 4 years. I've played Kirk the last 4 years. I haven't played him. I've coached against Kirk the last 4 years, 3 years in Dallas, last year here. And Kirk is a tremendous player. I mean, a very good quarterback. He can make all the throws. He can, diagnose what you're doing. So it'll be a tough task. I mean, we'll go out and compete. I think we did a fairly good job against him last year, and now he'll be with a new offense, a lot more weapons, although he had the best receiver in the league last year. So, but at the end of the day, it'll be a challenge. I mean, one thing he is a tough competitor, so we'll have our work cut out for us for those days.
Talk about that toughness. He's a guy that takes beatings but keeps getting up.
Right. Which, there's a lot of players in this league that don't receive the credit they should, but how physical it is out there and to play down in and down out and be consistent throughout the course of the year and making it to the game every week. I mean, that's tough. So he's a very tough-minded, competitive person.
What was your reaction when they drafted Penix Jr. at 8?
I didn't. I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't here or there. I know they had signed Kirk, and I mean, I guess they, their evaluation process, they got a good young player. So I was as shocked as you were. How about that?
All right, thank you very much.
All right, thanks.